Former President Trump was defeated in Iowa's 2016 caucuses. We've talked about that before. Senator Ted Cruz won that contest about 8 years ago. But he heads into tonight with a significant polling edge. That's putting it mildly. Trump campaign advisor, senior advisor, I want to make sure we understand. Jason Miller joins us now. Jason, good to see you. Expectations for tonight, be as specific as you want to be.
Feeling good.
Yeah.
Confident, not cocky.
Right.
Make sure that we turn everybody out. But the grassroots operation, the commit to caucus cards that we have signed, the commit to caucus trainings, the work President Trump has put in, as well as his team, we feel good about tonight.
Do you think 45% or higher is a margin that the former president will reach?
Don't go and try to raise expectations on me. A win is a win, so we'll be happy with that. So want to get the win here, then go get it in New Hampshire. Now, look, many people talk about potentials for setting records or things of that nature. We want to focus on getting the win. The rest will take care of itself.
Do you have a sense of turnout tonight? The weather could be a factor in bringing that down a bit from 2016.
So I think the weather affects everybody the same. I think the only folks who are really impacted by the weather are the out-of-town journalists, to be honest with you.
Okay,
I mean,
fair enough.
If you saw the REI in all the stores here of all the journalists going in to buy coats because they didn't pack appropriately, but we're in Iowa. Folks know how to deal with snow. They know how to deal with the cold weather. And the other thing to remind people of, too, is that our folks are used to camping out overnight for tickets for Trump rallies, standing in line for hours, whether it's in the freezing cold, scorching heat. Our people are going to show up. That's what we know.
Right. Do you believe the CBS News poll that came out yesterday that showed the former president with a commanding national lead?
Well, yeah. I mean, President Trump is leading pretty handily nationally. We imagine that after he gets the win tonight, that will potentially even do better. So we feel very good about this standing nationally as well as the early voting states.
Do you believe that part of the CBS poll that showed when voters in our survey were asked Trump, DeSantis, Haley against Biden, Haley outperformed the former president against Joe Biden? Do you believe that part of the poll?
The vast majority of polls that I've seen show President Trump with an overwhelming lead over Joe Biden compared to any of the other Republican candidates. The other thing, too, when you start breaking it down on a swing state by swing state basis, President Trump is continually in the lead. You look at Pennsylvania, where he's up by 6. You look at Michigan, where polling has him up by 8. You start actually going around the states, we feel very good about that. Many of these surveys, the ones where Nikki Haley, say, is doing a little bit better than others, there's an oversampling when it comes to independents and also Democrats in that. And in a sense right now, Nikki Haley is still a fictional character. People don't really know her. She hasn't been defined on the broader scale. There's an idea of a Nikki Haley, but as folks get to know her, then it's like South Carolina, where people do know her and they don't like her.
When does that definition process begin from the Trump campaign's perspective? Tomorrow?
Some of that started a little bit already. I mean, some of it, quite frankly, is started from Nikki Haley herself. We saw whether it be the slavery comment or the comment that New Hampshire corrects Iowa. By the way, Major, it's somewhere upward neighborhood of 70 or 75% of Iowans know about that comment. That comment has spread like wildfire. And it also kind of just shows that Haley's a rookie, not quite ready for prime time.
What does tonight's result mean for the Trump campaign in New Hampshire?
Well, it's definitely going to be a boost of energy, a boost of support. But we feel much more confident about New Hampshire as far as compared to, I think, some of the boo birds in the media. A lot of the surveys have been done recently there have very much oversampled. Independents are technically undeclared.
Right, but you know they can play in that primary.
Yeah, but the record is 39%, and many of the surveys, the recent ones, the terrible ones like ARG, have had that undeclared number being up over 50. And, okay, first of all, I don't think Nikki Haley is going to set the record for non-Republicans participating in a Republican primary. I certainly don't think that she's going to increase it by 25% over the record or 30 or 40%, which is what she would need to even be anywhere near in the ballpark. So we feel good about our operation there as well.
When the South Carolina primary is conducted and over, do you expect Donald Trump's record to be 3-0 or maybe 4-0 if you add Nevada, but 3-0 because that's where the Republicans really focus? And then will your campaign begin to say it is over?
Well, I think with a resounding win tonight, I think certain people might start to say that already.
It's over after tonight.
Yeah, well, I could see some people saying that. We're going to take.
Would you say that?
No, I wouldn't say it. I'm going to say we're going on to want to win New Hampshire, want to win Nevada, want to win South Carolina, and we want to win out. I do think that we'll be 4-0 through the first 4 contests. And we're going to treat every single one like what President Trump always says, no prevent defense. You're going to pretend like we're down by 1 point rather than ahead by much more than that. But at a certain point here, folks got to start to rally around President Trump if we want to beat Joe Biden. There's no pathway to victory for Nikki Haley or Ron DeSantis. When you break it down and look at the one-on-one matchup within a Republican primary, President Trump has had by 20, 30 points consistently, regardless of the pollster. And so that energy, that momentum is going to continue to be with him. There's nothing that Haley or DeSantis can do to reverse that trend.
It's been said to me here in Iowa, Jason, and I wonder if you agree with it and would say that also is true in other places, that Trump in Iowa is the incumbent, he's the challenger, and he's the victim.
Well,
and those three things all gravitate in ways that help him and hurt Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis.
But I think Joe Biden has made a fundamental miscalculation with this whole legal witch hunt against President Trump. I think it's backfired. I think that American voters are pretty smart. They see exactly what's going on. They see that there's...
But particularly Republican voters, energized by that.
But when you look also at the general election, people are saying, wait a minute, we have these real issues with inflation, the border, chaos in the Middle East and Ukraine, and it seems like the government and Joe Biden are just focused on going after Trump. Case in point, last week, the speech that Joe Biden gave her about 10 days ago in Pennsylvania, he didn't talk about inflation or the border or the real problems facing our country. He talked about attacking President Trump and bringing up the legal issues and trying to make the personal attacks. Voters are smart. They can smell the BS. And I think they're looking at Joe Biden and saying, this guy is not focused on what we care about, which is the fact that life's becoming way too expensive, way too dangerous in the United States.
To be continued. Jason Miller, thanks for the time.
Thank you, sir.